combien il était difficile de construire une jurisprudence tolérante sur ces questions sensibles, ces cas difficiles. Alors, s'ouvre une autre phase de discussion avant le moment très attendu par tous. Quelles sont les conclusions de Laurence? Est-ce des questions? Oui, monsieur, à nouveau.
It's a question for the professor of the Industrial University. Thank you for your intervention. I had a question on the Constitutional Court, or not really the policy, but the judicial decisions or the position of the Constitutional Court after 2012. Do they still don't ask for any threshold? Does it mean that they still don't need any threshold in defamatory expressions in regard to politicians, or is it changed over the years? Because it seems a bit, maybe in the light of the recent development in Hungary, maybe a bit more logical that they would try to limit the possibility of the defamatory expressions in regard to politicians. Has that changed or not?
Okay, thank you. There is a change a little bit. According to the Constitutional Court, there should be a core of human dignity, which is untouchable. So, if the defamation or not, if the slander goes beyond this limit, goes beyond this border, and the only aim is to humiliate someone, and there is no concern, there is no connection to political agenda, to political issues, to public debate, yes, it can be punishable.
And is this something that has changed since the new Constitutional Court, or the new formation of the Constitutional Court in 2012 was organized, or in this new formation?
Some of the persons were changed. Before 2012, there were only 9 constitutional judges, and now there are 15. So there was a change in personnel of the Constitutional Court, but this approach was originated at the beginning of the practice of the Constitutional Court. So, according to Mr. Solon, who was also the president of the Hungarian Republic and president of the Constitutional Court at the beginning, during the first 8 years, there should be a core, there should be an area which must be untouchable. For example, there was a case, an election case, a candidate for parliamentary elections wanted to make a TV spot, and in this TV spot he depicted 2 prime ministers, the then Prime Minister Mr. Viktor Orbán and former Prime Minister Mr. Ferenc Gyurcsány, depicted them as monkeys. And the TV company doesn't let this political advertisement broadcasted, and the Constitutional Court, it ended in the Constitutional Court. The Constitutional Court ruled that this was okay, so it can be forbidden to broadcasting such an ad which depicts a person. It doesn't matter whether he or she is a politician or not, dehumanizes personality.
But that would not have been the case before 2012, because there was no threshold before 2012, was there? Not really.
It wasn't explicitly stated, but this was the case even before.
Okay, it would also been the case before 2012.
Yeah.
Okay. Human dignity was always
Yes.
something.
The core of human dignity, not the human dignity, the very core of human dignity.
Even for politicians or.
Even politicians, even the cases of officials and so on.
Thank you very much.
Pour le moment, pas de changement radical de jurisprudence.
I have a question for Bryce. Bryce, thanks so much for the presentation. I want to bring the discussion back to McLeod type of cases, so Steele and Morris, and the right of corporation not to be defamed. So I had a couple of questions about that. One is, you were saying in your presentation that if we're looking at the foundations of the law of defamation, that's linked to the protection of honor and dignity of individuals. And I wonder how far this rationale would extend to corporations, whether corporations can be said to have honor and dignity which we're protecting, or whether the rationale there is totally different, is to do with business interests of the corporation that must be protected, but clearly that's a different rationale from recognizing that not to be defamed as part of the need to protect dignity and honor. So whether the rationale for protecting corporations is the same as the rationale for protecting. It seems to me at least to be the case that we use defamation as a proxy for protecting honor for individuals, but it's a different proxy for corporations. But more importantly, I think, I wanted to ask whether we might have neglected a big area of law when we're talking about reputation of corporations. So we talked about criminal law, talked about civil law. We didn't say anything about employment law. And it's becoming very common for employees to lose their job for things they posted on social media on the basis of, in English, on the basis that they have brought the employer into disrepute. And these are cases where it's not that the employee said something false about the employer. It's not the case of McLeod. It's the case of expressing views on the internet through social media that are controversial or inflammatory, and then the employer thinks there's an association between the employee and the corporation, and they fire the employee. And there what you have is sort of private power being used to effectively censor expression on the part of the employee on the basis that this damages the reputation of the employee. Right? And I think this is a bit worrying, and it's kind of left out of the discussion. I know it's not defamation law, strictly speaking, but it does raise all the same issue about the digital age, about the right reputation of corporations, about the imbalance of power between employers and employees. So I wanted to invite your thoughts on that dimension of the issue.
Well, on your first point, I think I said that the purpose of the civil law is to protect reputation first and foremost. Underneath that, I see, certainly in the case of individuals, honour and dignity as being part of the court's thinking, even if it isn't expressed. I agree that that doesn't easily transfer to businesses, but I do think the concept of reputation applies to businesses. I mean, in some respects, businesses have more of a reputation than individuals. Reputation for quality of services and so forth. And the potential for them losing financially is, I would say, greater on average than it is for individuals to lose out financially because their reputation is damaged in some way. Particularly in using the same justification for businesses as for individuals. On the second point, yes, I agree that it looks as if it's becoming too easy for employers to sack dissident employees. I guess you have to remember that reasonably, I think, employers expect a duty of loyalty on the part of their employees, while at the same time the law permits whistleblowing. So there's supposed to be anyway, in every company, agreed avenues through which people can express unhappiness at the way that the company is behaving. And I think first and foremost that should be the
No,
course
I
of
had
action.
in mind cases where, I can remember the name of the case where an employee of the British Council posted on Facebook a very critical remark about the Prince George, was it? The firstborn of William and Kate. And that was reposted online. It was on a personal account, not a work account of the employee. And I think it was a tabloid newspaper that put two and two together, so associated, found the identity of the employee and said, look, this is an organization that is funded by the state, and the employee of the organization makes fun of royalty, of monarchy, and that's incompatible with the mission of the British Council, and she lost her job.
I don't know about that case.
There are other cases like that where the expression is not a breach of loyalty to the interest of the employer unless you interpret reputation very broadly. So it's mainly taking a very wide interpretation of what might bring the employer into disrepute.
Yeah.
And then censoring employees when they publish things on the internet. So it's not whistleblowing, it's just mere expression.
Sure, but it seems to me, I mean, I don't know that case, but on the facts that you've described, it seems to me that person would have a very good case for unfair dismissal.
It was found fair. By
it was found fair in the tribunal.
Yes.
I can't believe that. That's shocking, because the British Council, and I know through you've probably done gigs for the British Council as well, on human rights issues. I mean, we're told that we can be as critical as we wish of the British government when talking about human rights, and we are, I am. Granted, I'm not an employee of the British Council, but it makes a virtue out of being independent from the government, even though it receives funding from the government. So I'm very surprised that an employee lost their case.
It's a really bad decision, but there are many like that, and it's basically because I think English courts use the test of reasonableness.
Yeah.
Not proportionality.
But the whole test,
and then if the test is disrepute of the employer,
yeah,
the employer said the disrepute.
Yeah.
It was
a reasonable response to what that person did.
Exactly.
It seems fair.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's a defect in employment law. I agree.
D'autres questions? Vous êtes tous très impatients. Bon, dans ces conditions, on va laisser la place à l'organisatrice co-organisatrice pour clore nos débats.